All right, guys. Let me tell you a couple of things which you don't know. Okay, I'll show you. See, right now the time is 5:41. Okay, 5:41 in the morning. Okay, I got up early in the morning at around I think 4 o'clock, and you'll be very surprised. The reason why I got up 4 o'clock in the morning is to actually read. Seriously, read all the notes that I had put together about this Trump's tariffs and this trade war and all this alagula that is everyone's talking about and worried and all that. I was like, honestly, I'm being very down to earth and very open, very honest. Okay, and I was like wondering, what is the big deal about all this nonsense here? Why is everyone talking about this Trump's tariff and trade wars? And do I have to be worried? Should you be worried? Or is it the someone else's problem? Yeah, this is the problem for United States or Apple or Samsung. It doesn't concern me. Hell with this. So, and I'll tell you why I took down the notes and why I got up at 4. Actually, got up at 4 to read all this. Because right now, if you go to through any YouTube channel, you go through any headlines, the only thing right at the top is Trump's tariff or this trade wars. Oh my goodness, Great Depression. Ooh la la la. People are very afraid and they're scared. And I was like even that Singapore, I don't know, Singapore president or Singapore prime minister, whatever, he gave a dire warning. I was like, man, this drama is getting a bit too much. So finally, yeah, for me, I have small brains, small guy, simple guy. I just like to, uh, you know, uh, provide service to my client, get some money, relax, make a YouTube video, and enjoy the rest of the day. So I'm a very simple guy. But then you can only ignore something for a certain period of time, and when it constantly is being shown on your face again and again and again, you're like, okay, what the hell is this? I need to see it. And I'm the type of guy who, if I want to read something or if I want to, say, make a video, I need to understand it first. And, I think it was, I don't know, Richard Feynman or, that physicist, or I don't know, it was Carl Sagan who said this. You should be able to explain a complex topic to a 5-year-old. If you can do that, then you have understood the topic. So I've really taken that explanation to heart. And what I did is, first is, this is my style of how I do research. First, I go through all the reputed websites. Okay, I copy paste all this information and I paste it on a Google Doc or a Word document. Obviously, it'll go around maybe 20, 30, sometimes even 60 pages. Then from there, I start, once I got all the information I need, I quickly do a speed reading and I compress it to half the page. Okay. Then I open another Google Doc and I take the main points. Then I eliminate until I've read the whole thing and I've got on a new document. New document, I'll make it in bullet points. Then finally, after going through it again and again and again, finally I have to reduce it to a small paragraph with bullet points. It's not like word and grammar, just bullet points. And that is where it's like, okay, I've understood the topic. Now, I wrote down this, and you'll not believe, I actually got up at 4 to finally summarize this Trump's tariff. Why is it such a big deal and why do we have to be worried about it? Okay, I'll give you the simplest example. Why you, irrespective of your age, you need to be slightly worried. Slightly. I'm not saying you need to be paranoid about it. Now, if I were to speak to, let's say, a simple guy who doesn't know all this trade wars and policies and this and that and inflation, it is very simply this. I'm talking to a say, a restaurant owner, okay, a guy who cooks food and gives me. Let's say I love to eat a particular dish, any dish, and the cost for this dish, let's say, for example, the cost for this dish is $8. Okay, to make it together. You get onions, tomatoes, bread. Let's say it's a sandwich, okay? Then you get meat, then you get ketchup, mustard. The cost to make this burger is $8, okay? And then obviously, because he has to, pay for expense, water, electricity, staff, rent and everything. So instead of $8, which is his cost price, he sells it for $10. So he makes a $2 profit on the this thing burger. He makes a $2. But obviously, then after that, he has to pay for his expenses, and net profit may be just half, 50 cents. Okay. So $8 to make the burger, $10 he'll sell it for. Okay. And that is how he makes a little money. But now, if the cost for this same burger, $8, now it costs, say, $10. So now, if he makes the burger, he makes zero. There is no money he is making. So obviously, he has to think like, sheesh, man, I'm not making any money. So what do I do? Do I make the burger smaller? Do I avoid putting onions? Do I avoid putting, or do I take a cheaper brand of mustard or cheaper brand of tomato ketchup? Or do I, from this nice bun that I bought from a reputed seller, should I buy a cheaper bread? Maybe I'll just go to a supermarket and buy a. So he'll see how he can reduce his cost. And if he does that and reduces the standard, instead of Heinz tomato ketchup, he takes a local brand, let's say, example. Or instead of the beef patty from New Zealand, he takes local this thing. So obviously the taste and quality goes down. Then he might lose customers. He can still make the margin, but he loses customer. But if he maintains the standards, then he makes zero profit. So obviously he has to increase, because if you keep the quality, it's a long-term thing. If you reduce the quality, yeah, you can make money, but you lose the customers. Because I purchase every single day from, say, a restaurant. If I feel the taste is gone, I'll stop buying from that guy. Okay. So now he doesn't want to reduce his standard. So he says, now that the cost is $10 to make the burger, before it was $8, now it's $10. I still want to make my $2 profit. I'll charge you $12. Okay. So me as a customer, before I was spending $10, now I have to spend $12. I'll feel the pinch. But now just imagine $8, $2 profit, 10. But if it's 10, 10, 0. But now what if the cost goes up to $12 to make the burger, or $13? What do you do then? So this is where the big question comes in. If you make it too expensive, then the person might stop eating that particular burger and switch over to, let me see, should I go to another guy and purchase a cheaper burger? Or can I make the burger at home instead of buying it from this guy? Or should I switch over to maybe try some meaty dish? Now, if I stop buying from that guy, obviously he will have less sales. And if he has less sales, then he'll be like, how do I manage my expense? So maybe before, let's say he had many people come to his restaurant. So it's very busy. So he will need 10 staff to take care of a very busy restaurant. But now let's say, instead of having a full house, very, very busy, now there are hardly 50% coming. So he doesn't need 10 staff. He might need 5 staff. So if it continues this way, he'll tell the 5 staff, say, listen, guys, I don't have that much work. This 5 staff can do your job. I don't need you. You can sit at home. If I need you, I'll call you. So now they are without a job. So now only 5 people have jobs. 5 people don't have jobs. Okay. Now those 5, if they don't have jobs, they'll be like, sheesh, man, how do I pay for my expenses? How can I buy things? So now they'll reduce buying. groceries. They will not take their wife and children to go outside. They say, let's sit at home. I don't have money to spend. And now imagine this happens not just to him, but to happens to many, many shops, many, many businesses. So now a lot of people without jobs. So a lot of people are not buying things. Now, if you don't buy things, the guy who's selling the items, he'll be like, sheesh, man, I have dead stock. Nobody is buying my phones. Nobody is buying my accessories, headphones. Nobody is buying, all the items. They're just remaining here. So what will he do? He'll be like, okay, if nobody is buying all this, I need less staff. I'll sell this for cheap and reduce the operation. So that vicious cycle continues. So more people lose their jobs, more people have less money to spend, more people will buy less, and then it goes like a cycle. And eventually, what will happen is, as people are buying less, as things are becoming more expensive, people are not going out. Like, let's say, for example, me, my wife, and baby, if we were going regularly out to eat at a restaurant and now we are cooking at home, that restaurant loses business now. So, what do you do? Now, this is exactly the problem that Trump's tariffs are doing. The See, why is Donald Trump doing it? Donald Trump is doing it because he wants to appear like a hero in front of his people, like America. America, I'm putting America first. So before our jobs were going to China, Apple was having a factory in China, and made in China was selling here. And let's say this particular brand, their Tesla is setting up, for example, in one other country. They are getting jobs there, but it's an American brand. So I don't want you guys to open up factories and give other people jobs there. You, American brand, you set up here only. You give my people jobs. You teach them how to work. But here's the problem. In a place like India, let's say, for example, I set up a factory in India or Bangladesh or Vietnam or any of those cheaper countries. Maybe I can pay them $1. Example I'm giving, $1 for, say, uh, let's say $1 for 1 hour of work. Okay, I just pay $1. Okay, but now in USA, there's a minimum wage. I can't pay $1. Maybe I have to spend $8, maybe $10, maybe $15. So now the price, where it was $1 per hour, now it is 10 times more. So my production to make this item is now 10 times more. So if it is 10 times more, you remember the example I gave, that same burger. If it is 10 times more, the final product will be 10 times more expensive. So then I need to make some profit, right? I can't sell at a loss. I can't sell at 0% profit. So obviously, I'm going to tell the customer, say, listen, before I could produce it at this particular price. Now it's increased. So I need at least 10% margin. This is where the disaster takes place, because Americans are not going to work for the salaries that they pay in Bangladesh. That is not their lifestyle. The currency, difference. You can live, for example, in Thailand, you can live on, let's say, $1 or say $5 a day. You just buy a bowl of rice, which is super cheap. You can eat meat and this curry and all that, all which costs maybe each meal will cost, say, $1 each with the cold drinks and all that. Total $5 for the whole day. Breakfast is $1, lunch is $1, dinner is $1, and then maybe juice and this and that in between is one more dollar, and some snacks. Total $5. Example. Do you think the same price would be there in US? No. Everything is expensive in US. So President Donald Trump is putting America first. I'll give you more jobs. We'll pressurize those people. If you don't set up here, I'm going to charge you more tax, and then your demand will come down. So people just don't know what to do. And he is using this to blackmail other countries. Blackmail is a harsh word. To bargain with them. Okay, you don't want tax? What benefit will you give me? Give me some benefit. Means me, means my people. But here's the problem. It is America versus the whole world. If it was America and China, yeah, you can fight with each other and you can say, okay, I'll not buy Chinese goods, they are expensive. I'll buy, say, from Japan, or I'll buy from Bangladesh or India. But now if you're going to fight with the whole world, one against the whole world, I will increase the price for everyone. All the other people will, boss, you're increasing prices for me, make it expensive. I'm not going to make it cheap for you. That's what's happening with, for example, US and China. US is saying, I'm going to charge you 35% tax extra you pay me. So China will be like, okay, you're charging me 35%, I'll charge you 35%. So it's same. Now Donald Trump is saying, oh, you're charging me 35, I'll show you how big my balls are. I'll charge you 50%. So China will say, okay, I'll also charge you 50%. So it keeps going up, 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 up. But where is the end? Who is the one who's suffering? Like, let's say I used to buy from, say, Alibaba or AliExpress or Temu. I used to buy products like a shirt, a trouser, because it was cheap. Before it was, say, only maybe $5 just to buy. But now because of the tax and all that, it's $7 or $8. Or let's say it becomes double. So before I could buy maybe 5 shirts. I could buy 10 shirts, $10. That was my budget. Let's say $1 each, example, an item. Now I can buy, because the price is double, I'll buy half. So this keeps going on. And eventually it will impact you. Why? Why? Because there'll be less demand for services. There'll be less demand for products. Okay? And if a company makes less money, means I'm selling less products. That means I don't need so many staff. That means I will cut down my workforce, which means they have less purchasing power. And this will lead to unemployment. And when you have unemployment, it is a sign of desperation. And that is where it's going to lead to a global recession. See, I'll give you maybe one final example in relation to this. Before, I remember when I just came to Thailand. Okay, this you're talking of maybe 10 years. It's approximate. I used to buy. I'll give you simple items. I used to buy, say, a coconut. You know, coconut, no? With the, I used to like to eat the inside of the coconut, not the green one, the actual hard one. It was very crunchy, and plus the water I used to drink. It was only 10 baht. 10 baht I used to buy from one person who used to get from the village. And then very soon, because of tourism and, big demand, they increased from 10 baht, they made it 15 baht, which is okay, fine, I'll just pay 15 baht. And then eventually the demand picked up more and more people were buying. So they were selling more. They're like, oh, there is demand, I'll charge more. They charge 20 baht. Okay, so now, before I used to pay only 10, now I'm paying 20, which is still okay for me, no problem. But now, because of, the cost of everything that has gone up, electricity has gone up, say water expenses have gone up, labor, salaries have gone up. The same 10 baht coconut is now 45 baht. Okay, 45. Let that sink in. And now, when I know the prices, so I started to think of alternatives. Okay, instead of coconut, maybe I can have some other fruit or something else. Why only coconut? Maybe I'll wait for someone to give me wholesale. I'm just giving you how the mind works. Let's say, for example, I was buying, let's say, from one particular shop. This actual example, I used to buy from one particular shop where he used to give me the customized yogurt with there was with strawberry, there was with mango, there was with the uh, you know tropical fruits and all that. He used to make customized, and he used to give it to me each one for 150 baht, 150 baht. Um, I used to buy like maybe 10, 20, but then he increased it to from 150 baht to 200 baht. So I was like, okay, I can still manage as to buy in bulk. But when the price reached the point where it literally doubled, just imagine, let that sink in, doubled. Then you begin to think like, okay, can I make this at home? I can save much more. And that is why you begin to think, okay, I'm getting the same kind of pleasure, not as good as that. I'm making it at home. My electricity, before, my electric bill used to come 700 per month, 700 baht. Got married, went to 1000 per month. Then they increased per unit cost, it went to 1500. Today, I'm actually spending 3000 baht per month. From 700, 1000, 1500, went to 2000, now 3000. And it's increasing even more. Just my electricity, same house. Oh, and it's obvious, yes, I have a daughter also who puts on the AC. Things have upgraded for me in terms of expense. So remember this much, when expenses go up now, you have to think, how can I cut down on cost? How can I cut down on my expenses? How can I have maybe the same lifestyle but pay less? You look at alternatives. You look at who gives you a better pricing. Let's say, for example, before I used to buy a particular brand of juice or soda or whatever from one guy, and now the price has become more. I'll I'll try to find someone else who gives me for less. And in fact, this phenomenon that I told you, cooking at home and preparing at home to cut down costs, that's very much a reality. So, how does it impact you? Is it's like a domino effect. If someone else loses their job, he will spend money less, and then eventually he'll come to you. If uh, there is less demand, who will take your service? For me, fortunately, my product and service is more about things which are critical, which are very, very important. It's not like a luxury. Okay. But for those people who are providing, let's say websites, one guy is giving websites. Um, Now they look at, okay, can I get a website for cheap? Can I get a website for free for a couple of months? Or you'll be surprised to know this. People even will ask, do I actually need a website? It has come down to that. Maybe I can just use LinkedIn. So, anyway, this is what my analysis has been. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. And do comment down below and let me know that is it going to impact you? Do you feel afraid? Do you feel worried? Do you feel stressed out? Do you think it will have some negative impact on you, or indirectly will it increase the prices? Do you feel okay? And have you felt it? I would really like to know your thoughts in the comments below, because one thing is for sure, if everyone's worried about it, there should be something that we have to think and be concerned about. Okay. So, anyway, this has been my version of what I see in terms of inflation, in what I see is as unemployment, all thanks to our wonderful friend, Mr. Donald Trump. So, anyway, good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't mind my silly way of explaining this, because I like to keep things simple. All right, you guys take care. This is me signing off. Yalla, bye.